Hello, class. I just wanted to hop on here and go over a few little details with our Canvas page and then important due dates that you need to be aware of. So, of course, you have at the very beginning, you'll have the important dates. So please don't forget about our add drop deadline, making sure that you complete the participation quiz that's due the day of the deadline, or the day of our add drop deadline. And then when you can withdraw, make sure when you withdraw or when you request a withdrawal, it is from either your GMC email or through your Canvas account, your GMC Canvas account. If you need to withdraw, if you are looking into that, please make sure that you also contact your graduation coach or financial advisor to make sure that it is not going to affect your financial aid standing as well as your status for graduation and those plannings around that. And then at the very bottom here, you'll have easy access to click on accessing the various weeks that we have. You have my email and then office hours. So these are when I'm most likely available to respond to emails, or if you need to set up to meet, these are the times that work for me. However, if these do not work for you, please still email me, let me know. I would love to work to still meet with you so we can go over the materials or any questions you may have. Along the side, you'll have our syllabus. So the syllabus is, of course, where all our information is when it comes to the course, like the course schedule, as well as ethics for our GMC policy, like the honor code. You'll find where to find our textbook for the course material. So you should be able just to click on the link and then you should be able to find it. Well, you should be able to find it through here where you use Vital Source course materials. So you'll find it along the side. And if you have any difficulty accessing the course, this is how you troubleshoot that. But please let me know if you're having trouble accessing the course materials. Of course, the minimum computing requirements, we have to have consistent, strong access to your internet because we are an online course. And so being able to operate with that. And then we have for your assignments, we use only Microsoft Word or Adobe PDF. So please note that Microsoft Office is free to you as online students. This is how you can access it. So please make sure you are utilizing that resource because that is what we require for you to be able to turn your assignments in. You cannot upload pictures or anything like that. It has to be through Microsoft Office, so it's easier to grade, as well as going through our Turnitin system to notify any potential plagiarism. Scrolling down, you'll see how everything is weighed out. So we have our civil discourse forms, the weekly assignments, exercise prescription projects that's build on to each other, and then our exams. The civil discourse forms, please do not ignore them. I know it's a weekly activity that you'll have to do, where at the middle of the week and Wednesday is when you'll um, have to post your initial response, and then at the end of the week on Sundays typically is when you'll have to respond to two peer reviews. So please make sure you are completing those because those do have a big portion on your grade. I'll have students who do very well with everything else, but just are not making the civil discourse forms a priority. And so they get zeros or they don't get full credit for them. And so their A potentially goes to a B or a B to a C, vice versa. So please make sure you are also giving the civil discourse forms the attention it needs. Keep going down. So we have like my department chair if you need access to her, if you have any issues or questions about anything. I think the expectations for this course for me as well as for you. Most noticeably, I want to go over our ethics. So our Georgia Military Honor Code is I will not lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate those who do. So this is especially evolved around plagiarism if you are using your previous work from another student, or if you have taken this course before and you are having to retake it for a variety of reasons, submitting previously submitted work, even though despite it being yours, is still considered plagiarism because you are not presenting the work materials as you were for this term. So that goes against number 6. So it's work previously presented in another course. So because it's intention for you to be able to take the assignments and give it the gravity and give it the attention that it deserves for each week as we go throughout this term, especially if you're having to retake it. So we're still learning. You still want to show that you are engaged in learning the materials. And then a special note about the use of AI. So using AI to do your assignments to, especially with our civil discourse forms or the short answers in your assignments, though that is considered plagiarism, because it is academic dishonesty, just as buying an assignment or having someone else write it for you, because it is not, you are not using your resources. You are not creating the assignment yourself. A lot of students will write their assignment or write their answers to the civil discourse form, and then they'll turn to AI like ChatGPT to reword it to make it sound more professional or clean it up or a variety of reasons. And a lot of time that can flag for AI as well, because AI will, it typically changes the integrity, the structure of your assignment that you originally did. So please avoid using AI when it comes to writing your assignments. They are a great resource when it comes to maybe brainstorming ideas and figuring out how to start. But when it comes to actually writing your assignment and putting your thoughts down into or putting what you know down into your assignments, we need to avoid using AI. If you are concerned about how you're writing, we have our GMC Writing Nook. The access to that is right here on the left-hand side. They are a great resource to make sure that you are doing well when it comes to the grammar, the structure, and just being able to cite appropriately, using your resources. So they are a great tool to use. So please look into them as well. And then along that note, we have our GMC library. So this is where you can find your articles, you can find your supportive resources for your claims, for your assignments throughout this term. They are also a great resource. Please make sure you utilize them. Scrolling down, this is where we have our course schedule. I have everything in red to kind of go out and help you see a little bit clearly, like when the week dates are, when your due dates are, so you can see those clearly. Then you also have where in the textbook we are going to be pulling from, and then our objectives and the overview of what we're going to be learning for that week. Again, as I mentioned earlier for the civil discourse forum, you have your initial post and then you have your remaining posts, your peer responses that are due. Please be mindful of these due dates. The first week and the second week is a little bit different just because of the beginning of this term and the ending of the term. However, especially for weeks 2 through 7, you should have your initial post due on Wednesday night by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or by and then the peer review is your responses. The two of them are due by Sunday at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time, and then Sunday is also when your remaining assignments are due. So you have all this, and then we have spring break coming up, so you can scroll through to see all our course forms. And then we have a little more information about our civil discourse guidelines. So giving you some tips about how to organize your thoughts, how to substantially contribute, and then the grading rubric. So please make sure you are noting all portions of the grading rubric here. So making sure that you are having at least 2 replies. You're contributing at least 2 days, which you should if you do the initial post on Wednesday, and then your peer reviews by Sunday. And then make sure all posts are relevant. They're actually addressing the topic that is given to you. And very important, all posts are at least 150 words in length. This includes your peer responses. Any type of resources or anything like that, the words for that do not count towards your word length. Your word length is for your response, to want to see what you say. And the whole reason why we have this 150 words length is just to make sure that you are, again, substantially contributing and not just saying great job, great work, etc. So please make sure that you are being mindful with how you're contributing to your civil discourse forms. And then, of course, just make sure that you are on time with them when it comes to responding to the main topic. So your Wednesday post. And then if you keep scrolling down, this is where we have a little bit more about the authentic servant leadership at GMC, making sure that you are employing critical thinking, empathy, effective communication throughout your time with us at our online learning community. If I have announcements throughout the course, this is where where you'll see me post everything. So you'll see I've already posted a few things about the Civil Discourse Forum. This is where we have our late work policy. You'll see that I refer to it and link it in multiple of our announcements going forward. So late work policy, essentially, there are very few valid excuses for submitting late work. We have a schedule. You have a notice of the schedule. So unless there is a family or personal like emergency or an extenuating circumstances, like I think it was last year where we had that massive storm come through and there was a lot of internet outages for an extended time. So unless there's something of that nature, you should not be having late work. If you have if you have to work or if there is some issues with just like maybe accessing like accessing your internet or you have normal weather conditions, please make sure that you are trying to do what you can to work ahead so these complications will not oh so that these complications are easier to overcome because they are not necessarily valid excuses for turning in late submissions. If you have if you are unsure or again things happen, life happens, please still email me though. I would love to see what we can do to work together to make sure you're still getting your assignments and getting your assignments in on time. So please make sure you are reviewing this late work policy. And then every week you'll see that I will post a welcome week. You'll see the assignments that are listed. I'll link the course syllabus. As I mentioned, I'll also link the late work policy so you can always refer to that. And then I have my office hours there at the bottom to help remind you. So please make sure that you are looking at the announcements. You should get these through your email, especially if you have it toggled within your settings. If you do not know how to do that, please let me know. And then, as I mentioned earlier, down below is how we access your textbook for the course. So you'll click on the link and then you can just go to read now. It should ask you to log in if you're not already. You can easily see like your modules for the week. So you can scroll down there. You can go to your assignments if you just want to do that easily versus the modules to quickly click on things. This is everything. Your grades, tutoring. So tutoring for this specific class isn't necessarily available. However, they have tutoring they have it for like your English classes, your math classes, a lot of more of your basic STEM classes are available. Great resource. Please let me know if you have any questions. And then again, Office 360, as I mentioned, is something that you need for the course, your Microsoft Office. All right, and I believe, and it's still loading, but when that loads, that's where you can find access to that as well as the syllabus, as I mentioned earlier. But that is it. So please let me know if you have any questions or concerns about it, all this. Otherwise, I'm excited to see all of you throughout our course. Thank you.